You're watching this video because you're a nutrition coach and you know you could help more people and get more clients if you weren't such a perfectionist that is constantly wondering if what you have to say is impactful and if it will actually work for people. This stuff is hard, especially when it comes to not just working with people, but showing up and posting things on social media. And that's what we're here to talk about today. How to put yourself out there on social media and how to deal with any negativity you might face. Because when you don't do it, when you don't face this, no one wins. And I'm certain it's the only thing holding your nutrition coaching back. So let's dive into this. Last week, I got a great question in my YouTube community. Let me read you the question for full context. Okay, so here's what it says. In your system, you teach social media strategies for nutrition coaches. For a new coach or new to social media, it can be daunting, even discouraging to put real content out into the world for our best future clients. People might be misinformed, misinterpret our bite-sized communication, or simply have a different opinion point of view than us. Would love to see you do some teaching around how to address it or not, dissenting social media engagements and not allow them to impact us personally. This stuff is hard. Thanks for all you do to make nutrition coaching a valued profession that gets clients results. Okay, so does that sound familiar? Chances are you're feeling this way. Okay, so this comment is from my nutrition and powerlifting client, Shauna, who's a fantastic coach in her own regard. And what breaks my heart is someone that has so much to offer as a nutrition coach and the capacity to help so many people. It breaks my heart when they feel this way because I know with the right strategies and mindset shift, I know she can get to a place where it won't affect her personally and she can help more people. So let's unpack this and provide some strategies so you can show up online, provide value, and get some clients. Okay, here's the first thing I have to say on this matter. You need to focus on being helpful and not being right. This is the mindset shift that changed absolutely everything for me. You need to remember why you're putting yourself out there. You're doing it to be helpful to the people that need help, not to impress others or to be smart around people that are just like you. And a lot of times that's who's in the back of our mind. It's our peers. What are they gonna think? They must be thinking like, who are they to put themselves out there like that? Or I need to make sure I get this right. I don't want anyone thinking that I don't know what I'm talking about. First off, these thoughts are very common. How do I know this? Because I felt them, I still feel them, that doesn't go away. And secondly, a recent survey of 186 nutrition coaches from feastgood.com showed that the biggest challenge facing nutrition coaches isn't getting their clients results, it isn't making more money, it's battling the nutrition misinformation that clients read in the media. That's right, there's so much out there that's incorrect that you're afraid of being part of it. So what do? You don't share anything at all. And that's not cool. Here's what you do instead. You don't focus on being right, on being perfect, making sure it's what the research says. You focus on being helpful, which means presenting information to the people that need it, the people that are gonna actually use it and benefit from it. Not anyone else, not you, not for other coaches, but to the people that will ultimately pay you. And this doesn't mean just presenting things that are quote unquote correct. Save the nuance and completeness for academic journals if that's your thing. But in this scenario, you just wanna be helpful and forget everything else. Focus on being helpful and not right, and this entire process will be much easier. For most of our Dr. Mark Method coaches, the thing that they struggle with most when it comes to social media is gonna be this video aspect, getting on video, showing their face, talking about these things. And sometimes it's not just the content, it's the actual strategies and how to do this. If this sounds like you, I got a free 45-minute training on how to create social media videos. Drop the words video in the comments below and I'll make sure it gets over to you. Okay, but when you start sharing your message, you may have to start doing this, which is number 2, addressing negativity. You can start to get some negative feedback, people with different opinions, disagreeing with you, or even talking about or commenting on stuff that's not even related to the point. That's unfortunate and it does happen, but it is quite rare. Honestly, the stuff that I'm personally the most worried about posting actually ends up being the most well received. That's how it works most of the time. And the stuff that does get some negativity, it's usually an indicator that I'm on the right track. I'm either taking a stand and presenting an idea that really resonates with some people and turns others away. And that's okay because it shouldn't be for everyone. Because not everyone is going to go down this path with you, and that's okay. And if that's what's stopping you, it also means you're not going to be able to help as many people as you could. Anyways, in the event that you do encounter some negativity, which again is rare, but not a bad thing, here are some ways to deal with it. Number 1, not in your house. Think of your social media as your house. You own it. It's not a public forum. Not everyone is entitled to rights in your home. If someone walks in and is coming for you and is draining your mental energy, just delete it. This person is not going to be convinced otherwise. I'm sure of it. I used to spend so much time arguing with strangers on the internet, it didn't get me anywhere. Just delete it and move on, or leave it because it's usually not a reflection of you. I have entire YouTube videos of people disagreeing with me in the comments, or haven't said anything at all. You can sort it out amongst yourselves. I don't have time for that. Anyways, this next strategy is probably better. Number 2, use it as a chance to strengthen your position. If someone disagrees with you, take a moment to further elaborate what you were trying to say, because we only have so much time and bandwidth to explain ourselves on social media. Man, honestly, the only reason I've gotten half good at explaining stuff to you is because I've done it so many times. So follow up on it and lean into where you're at. When you're trying to be helpful, you're coming from a place of trying to share what you know. So dive into your experience and who it's for and why you're saying certain things. Not everything you say is going to apply to each and every individual. And usually this person, the person that's being negative, is just airing their grievances on something that doesn't apply to them. Just tell them why, and the people that it is meant for, they will appreciate it even more. And lastly, number 3, don't take it personally. Think of your appearance on social media more like a job and not a reflection of you. Like you work at City Hall and you're processing people's parking tickets. They're gonna give you a hard time and it's not gonna have anything to do with you. It's them, they're crusty and there's nothing you can do about it. Don't take this personally, and if anything, feel bad for them and move on. Okay, so now you have a better understanding of how to show up online, how to deal with negativity. Feels good, right? But you still may not be able to follow through and do it. Here's the last way I want you to think about this. Number 3, visiting the consequences of not doing it. Okay, here's the deal. What happens if you don't put yourself out there? Create the video, write the post, share what you know. Do you know who wins? Someone else. The person that doesn't care as much as you, has no problem taking people's money with methods that probably don't work. That guy wins. It's the guy that claims to eat only raw liver, shirtless, riding a horse. He wins, which also means someone loses. Do you know who that is? You don't get to share what you know. You don't get to create that side hustle or that legacy. And the potential client also loses because they get a subpar experience with someone else. Maybe their health never improves. You owe it to them. I only say this because it's exactly what I've worked through and one of the only things that allowed me to show up and grow. You need to do this. Now, I do want to give you an example of this in real life. Recently, Dr. Mark Method graduate coach Jenna posted a reel on social media. Let me show you the full reel for context.
Hey guys, if weight loss is your goal, you need to cut this shit out of your diet. Okay, so Vector advertised as high protein, but it's really important to look at their labels. The marketing team, they're not on your side. They're not looking to help you out. It says high protein, but when you actually look at it, we're seeing 5 grams of protein per serving, which if you don't know macros, you may not know if that's good or bad, but when you look at your average, any other cereal, protein, this one actually has 6 grams of protein, yet this isn't marketed as high protein. Smart Pop, 250 calories per 50 grams, 14 grams of fat, and you can compare that to any other chip. This has less calories per serving. This has 240 calories per serving, and this chip has another 240 calories per serving. Smart Pop, not smart. Even Greek yogurt, if we're buying it flavored, you're just adding so much sugar into your intake that's just not necessary. This tiny little cup here, if you look at the calorie breakdown, this has 9 grams of sugar for this tiny little cup. I don't know about you, but that's like 2 spoonfuls for me for 9 grams of sugar. No thank you. You're way better off buying plain, non-fat, no sugar added Greek yogurt and just adding your own topping. Okay, so another one marketed as healthy. It has the word vitamin in it, has the word water in it. You'd think this would be a good choice, but again, we look at the back here. This whole serving has 32 grams of added sugar. Even this is a better alternative here. This is going to be no sugar, no calories really. You're getting a few artificial sweeteners, but in the long run, if weight loss is your goal, we need to stay away from the liquid calories.
Okay, so that was the reel. Jenna is going through a grocery store, pointing out foods that are marketed as healthy, but there may be better options. Grocery store videos are popular. People buy their food there, and it puts the viewer right in the coach's shoes as the consumer. And it keeps people engaged, but they have gotten a bad rap in the evidence-based fitness community because of the shirtless doctors who do them swearing off entire foods or macronutrients. But they work, and despite what you may think, sometimes you gotta do things that are popular to get in front of the right people. Plus, this video is different. Personally, I like to think that people can think for themselves. And if they find Jenna pointing out some foods that people should avoid too scary, they can move on. Now, Jenna's reel did get some backlash though from a fairly prominent coach. And here's the response. It was, this Instagram story here. It says, you know what isn't helpful? Grocery store food shaming videos that provide zero context. And then it goes on to say, but seriously, these videos aren't even creative. It's ripped off bad clickbait content. There's a creative way to do a helpful grocery store video that actually inspires confidence and doesn't scare people. If your method of educating people involves scaring them, then you care more about yourself and your views and the people you claim to want to help. Do a better job. All right, so this clearly sounds like it struck a nerve with someone, and this upset Jenna a bit, rightfully so, because most of us don't get into this stuff for that sort of reaction. But first off, people that feel like it's their job to save everyone on the internet, they drive me crazy. And what sort of ego do you need to have to think that you can determine what is helpful or not? Also, just quick sidebar, something like this happening is rare, but it's also usually a sign that you're doing things right. So more on that later. But I do know Jenna was trying to be helpful here and not right. And Jenna alludes to this in her caption. She's sharing what she knows because she's been there. She had to learn this stuff the hard way. And this type of marketing from food companies was one of the reasons that she found herself 60 pounds overweight, choosing healthier options just to consume the same amount of calories. And she felt like she was always making the healthy or the right choices and never losing weight. So she shares this video to address that, and I think that's helpful. But these are the sort of reactions that you fear and can be what is holding you back from posting content in general. Especially when we think about nutrition coaches overcoming that misinformation, this sort of reaction may make us feel like we're part of the problem, and we're not. Here's the good news. Remember the saying, all press is good press? For whatever reason, it being a good educational reel, the editing being very good, or that Jenna pissed people off, this video outperformed any other reel she's ever done. That's right, the video that was criticized was the most successful. In order to help people, you might need to take some heat. The most successful YouTuber in the entire world, Mr. Beast, has become really popular through giving money away, sometimes through challenges, other times to people in need. And surprisingly, that pisses some people off. They think he's doing it just for the fame or notoriety or the attention. But here's how he's wrapped his head around this. He thinks about the net positive. More people are being helped by what he's doing. These people are the majority versus the minority of people that are upset. So that's a balance he's willing to push forward with. This is for the net positive, and you'll get more traction because of it. Okay, but here's the next thing you need to think about, and it's an important lesson. This person, the one being critical, she is not going to hire Jenna. She isn't. So honestly, it doesn't really matter what she thinks. Why waste energy on someone that is never going to pay your bills or put food on your table, or buy you Vector high protein cereal? Now, many people did reach out to Jenna saying how helpful it was, about how they learned something and how they'll think twice about certain products. And isn't that what this is all about? Getting people to be more aware and mindful of what they're eating? We need to create content for these type of people and not let the fear of others hold us back from showing up online. Now, if you're really serious about starting a nutrition coaching business, the next thing I'm gonna have you do, check out this video I've linked up right here. Let's get a bit more specific about what to post as a nutrition coach by creating a social media plan. I'm gonna teach you how to do that right here, so check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.